Okay, we had to do this one twice because when we tried to mix our corn syrup with our molasses, it didn't separate like the video said it was going to. So, we're going to go ahead and do the other two layers to this.
I want to do it.
Kale, go ahead. Nope, this is the water we need to pour in. We're going to do this a little Halloweeny, so this is some red water. Go ahead and pour in the water, Kale. This water.
Don't spill it.
Now, what do you guys think it's going to do?
Separate.
It's going to separate. What do you think will be on top? Do you think the water will be on top or the molasses?
Yes, the water.
The water? Because why?
Because water's lighter and it floats over the top.
Okay, let's take a look and see.
It separated.
What did it do?
It separated.
It separated. I really wish the corn syrup had. We see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, our next layer is oil. So let's see. Jill, do you want to pour the oil in?
Yeah. All of
Okay.
it?
No. Just a little bit.
Tell me when
Just
to
like an
stop.
ounce. All right, count to 4. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about an ounce. A little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What do we think's gonna happen?
Separated.
Here, let's pour a little bit more in there so we can see it a little bit better for the camera. You can keep pouring.
2, 3,
4. See how that did that? It just kind of rolled over the top of that water.
Don't we need this water?
Wasn't that cool?
Mm-hmm. Mommy, don't we
And
need
we
this
see
water?
a little bit of it mixed at first.
Mommy, it's all separated.
It's all separated, yeah.
Mommy.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I see the corn syrup is starting to separate too if we look really closely.
Mommy.
So why do you think things... Well, no, we're not pouring that on there. So why do we think that one thing floated on top of the other?
Because some stuff is heavier than the other stuff. And
You
it'll
think
sink.
that's why it doesn't mix together because all the molecules float
Mom, can I put
and
these
one is
in?
lighter than the other? Well, if we look at the scientific density of all of these, we look at molasses, and it has a density of 1.42 grams per milliliter. And then our corn syrup is just a tiny bit lighter than that at 1.33 grams. So, of course, it's going to float. I mean, it's going to mix a little bit at first, and then it's going to float. And then we've got our red water, our blood. It's 1 gram. And then we go to our olive oil that's sitting on top here, and it's 0.92 grams. So, see, there is a little bit of a difference. There is a reason why they all separate like this, and it looks so cool. So what we're going to do now...
It's like a rainbow.
What we're going to do now is we're going to take... Who should be our first victim? Kale?
The Lego.
The Lego? What do you think the Lego's going to do?
Sink.
You think it's going to sink?
I think it's going to float.
You think it's going to float? Okay. Go ahead and toss it in there. What's it doing?
It's floating. It's floating.
Now it's kind of floating. What's it floating on top of?
The oil.
No, it's in the oil. What's it floating on top of?
Water.
It's floating on top of the oil, or on top of the water, but not the oil. Why do you think that might happen?
Because the water's holding it up, but the oil's trying to push it down, so they're kind of fighting.
I think that's a pretty good observation. Who is our next? Who? Okay.
Indian guy.
Let's put our poor Indian guy in. What do we think he's going to do?
He's sinking. No, I like the Lego is.
Well,
yeah,
he was supposed to float on top of the oil.
Yep.
I guess we should have done this ahead of time. Okay. Now, then we have what? We have
Bobby.
a paper clip. What do you think, or a safety pin, what do we think the safety pin's going to do?
Maybe a little sink.
Sink? Do you think it's going to sink all the way to the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? Or do you
Like
think
to
it's
the
gonna
last
float?
layer, the very top of the last layer.
Okay. Put it in. Let's see what it does.
Sinking!
It's sinking. It's sinking.
It's because it has holes.
And the phone's dropping.
I still got it. I still got it.
It's sinking.
It sunk.
And it hit the bottom.
Woohoo!
It didn't even stay up on top of the corn syrup.
Woo!
So why do we think any of those things happened? Does it have anything to do with the weight?
No, it has holes because it sunk.
It has something to do with the density of the things that we throw in it as well.
Yes.
Isn't that cool? And I'll bet you if we come back in the morning and check on this, I'll bet you the corn syrup is separated all the way. So this is our lesson on density.
It's like sitting on top of something. Like it looks like it's sitting on a table.
Yeah.